Julie, are you observing?
Okay, Chair, we are now live streaming. It's just before 6 o'clock. So we'll just wait for the clock to tick round and then we're good to start.
Okay, lovely. Thank you.
It's now 6 o'clock, Chair, so over to you.
Thank you very much. Well, welcome everybody. Just before we go through onto the agenda, I have a couple of comments that I would like to share with you. The first one relates to you, Councillor Graham. Long knee surgery, absolutely well done. Superb, absolutely amazing. My mother went and had her jab there. You have cleared all the snow. It was an absolute joy. And I just wanted to say thank you very, very much. Absolutely superb. Thank you. And also a plea for all, when they get the notification, please get the jab. We'll make this so much easier. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was the grant for antisocial driving. If you haven't seen that already, I would really advise that people, I know that you have, Luke, really start thinking about how we're going to use those grants. And also a plea for all councillors to attend the budget meetings, the budget briefings, rather. Please share with your cohorts, because it would be absolutely fantastic if you came along before the full town council. Okay, so apologies for all of that blurb. So welcome and introductions. I think that everybody knows the arrangements for virtual meetings, and I don't think that there is anything different to say this time. Apologies for absence, Joe. Do we have any?
We haven't, Chair. No, I've no apologies for absence.
Okay, so we've got a couple of people who aren't there, so okay, that's fine. Declarations of interest. To receive declarations of interest under consideration on this agenda in accordance with the Localisation Act 2011, Section 32, and the relevant authorities, brackets, disclosable pecuniary interest regulation 2012. Members are reminded that should you declare a pecuniary interest at a meeting, it is your responsibility to inform the monitoring officer. Do we have any declarations of interest from members? Okay, that's
no.
Declarations of interest from officers.
There's none, Chair.
None.
Very good. Public question time and participation. Do we have anybody coming in?
No, there's nobody, Chair, at the moment.
Thank you very much. And number 5, minutes for decision. Members are asked to approve the minutes of the Finance and Audit Committee held on Monday, the 21st of December. Do I have a proposer? Thank you very much, Councillor Graham. And a seconder, please. Thank you very much, Councillor Mansell. All those in favour? Marvellous. All done, Joe?
Yeah, all done.
Thank you. So number 6 is the progress report for noting. Joe, is there anything on that? I couldn't see anything that needs to be highlighted.
No, Chair, it's just your update on decisions you took in December, so you know that action has been taken. So everything has been actioned. It's just for noting.
Thank you very much. And we don't need to vote on that, do we?
No, I'm happy to say that you've noted it. That's fine.
Okay, lovely. Thank you very much. And town plan. I believe that everybody has seen that town plan. Does anybody have any questions? No? And so we will note the town plan, please, Joe.
Yep.
Sorry, town clerk. Sorry. Okay, so number 8, financial reports. I think I would like to ask Naomi if she would like to carry on.
Hi. So you've got the usual financial reports. You've got the bank reconciliations and the month-end reports that we can have a look at, and if there's any questions.
Okay, we have one question. Councillor Clarkson, please.
Thank you very much, Chair. I just have a quick question about the cash books, if for Naomi or Joe to answer, because obviously on the 31st of December, 2020, there were several payments made, and there's both in and out, and there's one for like a 7-figure fee that came in and out, and obviously it's quite anomalous. So I was wondering if you could explain what that is.
Yeah. So what that is basically what happens is money gets transferred between your two main accounts, your holding account and your current account. And what should have happened is in the cash book, I should have entered a receipt for £11,643.72, and I didn't put the dot in. So basically, and the money needed to come back out again. So if you have a look, you can see it larger figure, which is receipted on the first page about 2/3 of the way down. And then on the second page of the receipts, you can see the actual figure it should have been, which is your last transfer. And then if you move on to your payments, the very last figure on the second page is the reverse transfer, so that basically it's just gone in when it shouldn't, and so it's come back out again. You need to bear in mind that this is just paper accounting system. This isn't the actual money. That figure never got transferred anywhere. And cash books, although it seems worrying, that is the way things are shown in cash books. You have positives and negatives and things that go out and then things that come back in. And what it is it's transparent accounting. It's a bit like when you do maths and you're always told you have to leave your workings out. With accounts, you have to leave the workings out. So although it does look alarming, and obviously that was an error I made, it is balanced out and all correct.
Thank you very much, Naomi.
Just come
Does
back
that answer you, Councillor Clarkson?
Yes, I was wondering, is it possibly worth minuting that, Naomi?
Well, you can minute it if you want to. There's no problem at all. But if you look through in the accounts, for instance, if you looked at Bradford's or at Gleese's, you'll see positives and negatives and transfers one way and transfers the other all the time. And they're not minuted because what's important is your bank reconciliations. Okay. So, but we can definitely put something in the minutes if that's what the Finance Committee would like us to do.
I think that that's actually not a bad suggestion, actually, Councillor Clarkson, because if people are going through this years on, they would possibly not have your expertise to actually say that it's all okay. I think it's absolutely fine. I think your reasonings out is absolutely fine. And yes, I would quite like to have that in the minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, Naomi, if you just wanted to carry on.
So we've had a look at the you've got your bank reconciliations and you've got your month-end reports, and then we have the ratification of the December payments, which usually we note minute that 2 councillors are going to carry out those checks.
Yep. And those 2 councillors are very happy to do that, as I believe.
So usually it's Councillor Mansell and Councillor Curtis.
Mark, are you happy with that? Jolly good. That's okay.
I think Councillor Munsell has his hand up.
Carry on.
I'm almost psychic. I sent Naomi an email last night, actually, with the free payments already on, to get that done and sorted as soon as possible.
Yay, good lad.
And then finally, you've got the to agree any budget environments, but we haven't had any environments brought to us. So that's a standing agenda item, so that if we do need to agree some transfers, we can.
Yeah, there's none this month, but I think you should prepare yourselves for there's likely to be some probably for February and March as we get towards the year end. That's, and also, the last final thing, we do need to formally resolve that you approve the payments for November. So before we finish, if you can just move second and take a vote on that. I know some council may have questions.
Do I have any questions? Anybody? Jolly good. In that case, I would like to propose that this is all good, and that we agree with that. Do I have a seconder? Thank you very much, Councillor Graham. All those in favour, please.
But I think Councillor Munsell, do you have a question?
Do we need to add to that Councillor Curtis and myself will check the payments?
I'm including that in this council.
That's fine, just double checking.
I thought that we'd already.
Yeah, no worries. Sorry, Chair, I was just checking.
Sorry, I thought that was just a standard.
No, we do it every month. It is standard, but we do resolve it every month in case somebody else fancies a go.
Okay. All those in favour, please. Oh, I do think that's unanimous.
It is. Thank you.
Chair. Good. Well done, everybody. Cracking through. Internal audit for noting. Joe?
Yep. Thank you, Chair. So this is the first of our 2 internal audit reports that we will get. Obviously, the next one will be following the year end. I think the thing to pick up from this is, if members will recall that in the last internal audit report for the financial year that ended in March last year, we didn't meet the criteria on 2 of the key areas. One was petty cash, and the second one was the management of risk. Obviously, Naomi and I, we weren't particularly pleased that the auditor suggested that we didn't meet the management of risk, because we did a lot of work in the last quarter of the year to fix that, but they've looked at it over the full year. But what this report really does show is we have, if they were doing the end of year report now, we would meet all the requirements. So also, we no longer have petty cash. That has been disposed of. We now have a charge card, and we now have a corporate risk assessment, which has been approved and is monitored quarterly by the Policy and Governance Committee. Now, the one thing we talked about in a bit of detail on the corporate risk assessment is the one we've currently got was very much look back at what we were doing and how could we fix it. The conversation Naomi and I had with the internal auditor was about the next step we need to do, which is creating that into a live document and being forward looking and looking at how we can identify and mitigate risks that may be coming towards us. we've been very much looking back. We had to get ourselves into the situation where we have the risk manager, which we've done. So now the next step is for us to really start to look forward. And we had a good conversation with the internal auditor about how we do that, and I think going forward that'll be something which we will pick up. I don't think there's anything else really in the report I need to highlight. They did some testing on contracts, which obviously we have a new procurement policy, so we have quickly looked at 3 contracts that the council had awarded in line with policy. And it's as far as I'm concerned, it's a good interim report, and we'll hopefully build on that for the end of year one. I don't think there's anything else much to say unless Naomi wants to say anything or there's any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'll open this up to the room. Does anybody have any questions with the internal audit report? Okay, so it looks like nobody has any questions, and so I would like the members to vote to note the report and the contents of the internal audit report. And that is my proposition. Do I have a seconder? Thank you very much, Councillor Clarkson. All those in favour? Thank you.
It's unanimous.
Thank you very much. Right, grant applications for decision. To consider the attached report from the town clerk on grant applications received. So the first one is members to approve a grant of £55 from Councillor Mansell Ward Development Fund for the Oakworth sign project. Now this, I understand, is the Oakworth sign removal.
It is, Chair. So when we, Councillor Munsell, Councillor Curtis, I think
Mark Curtis, yeah.
I think Councillor Cogandale, and I even think Councillor Walker put some money into create a new Oakworth boundary sign. What Bradford Council didn't tell us at the time is they told us what it would cost to install. They didn't tell us that they would charge us to remove the temporary sign that's currently there. So we have to find the money. Councillor Curtis and Councillor Munsell have both agreed to fund the cost. So it's £55 split between the two of them. But it just needs to be ratified by the committee this evening that you're happy that that's what they use their £55 for.
Well, I'm very happy with what they've used their new development fund for, and I would like to propose that we give the grant of £55 to Councillor Mansell and Councillor Curtis. I have a secondary in Councillor Clarkson. All those in favour, please.
That's unanimous.
Thank you very much. Jolly good. Those two done. Number 4, to approve a grant. Actually, I don't think that's quite right. Actually, number 4, Councillor Adams. I believe that you were actually going for 930 for Mars Kitchen.
No, I was going for 1,000.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
We'll check. That's £1,000, Chair. Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So, Chair, also this is for Councillor Adams. We have worked with, this is to work with Mark Kellys, who are a small charity based in Keighley. They are doing pretty outstanding work in delivering.
Yeah, very sorry. I'm very sorry. It was actually Councillor Subir who was 930. I beg your pardon, Councillor Adams.
They're doing great work. Also, we work with them on our Christmas project. I think this is an extension, obviously, as the lockdown has continued, and particularly since shielding has been reintroduced. They are still having lots of requests, and they tend to fill the gaps where perhaps the support that's offered via Bradford and other more mainstream formats get missed. So the people that fall through the gaps. We're happy from the office that this meets criteria. We've seen all the paperwork, so it just needs the committee to ratify the grant this evening, please.
Thank you very much. Just before we move to that, could I ask Councillor Corkindale, please?
Yes. How old do you have to be to get this, Niels?
Yeah.
Are they any good?
Very good. Yeah.
Councillor Adams, please.
Yeah, I know I'm not a member of this committee, but I just thought I would enlighten you. The reason that I thought this was important is because Mark Kellys have been told on numerous occasions by Bradford Council, oh, we're looking after families and we're looking after vulnerable, but they're not looking after elderly at all. And a couple of you know what an experience I had just over the Christmas period with somebody, which prompted me to do this as well. So these are meals purely for the elderly and for the benefit of the mayor. Yes, they're very good. Very good.
I think he's angling for one, Councillor Adams.
He is.
I think you're probably right. And therefore, on that note, I will propose that we accept this.
Councillor Graham, I think, wants to second that. Marvellous. All of those in favour, please.
That's unanimous, Chair.
Well done. And well done you, Councillor Adams. That's
Excellent.
marvellous. Number 5, members to approve a grant of 930. I'm sorry, that's where I got it from before. I'm dyslexic or something, I don't know. From Councillor Shahid, Ward Development Fund for Parsons Street benches and bin.
Yeah, Chair. So this is a ward improvement grant which Councillor Shahid approached Sarah to work on. It's a piece of land that is, I think, the local school previously paid to put a bench on. That bench is now falling into disrepair. They don't have the money to repair it, so Councillor Shahid wants to help out. There's also lots of litter in the area, so he also wants to provide a litter bin. A couple of caveats. Also, we will need permission from the landowner, which we think is Bradford, to site the bin and the bench. We will have to purchase the bin from Bradford, and it will be added to their collection routes. There is a bit of a delay in terms of Bradford getting bins sited. We've got a couple of other grants that you've approved previously where we are still waiting for them to install the bins. Again, we're happy that it meets the requirements. Councillor Shawhead has the finances available in his pot, so we'll just ask the committee to ratify the application.
Okay, the other thing is, do we have details of where the money goes to?
Well, the bench will go to, if we buy the bench, we will buy the bench ourselves. The bin, we will get an invoice from Bradford and we will pay Bradford Council direct for the bin.
Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Corkindale, I believe.
Yeah, a couple of things, Chair. Are we going to supply, if we do supply a bench, one of our recycled ones in line with the council policy? And secondly, we would only be able to approve this in principle as we don't have permission from the landowner to site either the bin or the bench. So is it a recycled bench, which I hope it is, and again to approve it in principle? Thank you.
Chair, I can go back to Councillor Corkindale. It will be. It may well even be one of the benches that we've teamed up with the Men's Shed, who basically Cliff Castle, who are renovating old benches. It may even be that we can get one of those benches. But yes, it will be a bench of recyclable material. And I agree, it will be in principle because also we have to get permission off the landowner. But yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so in principle, I would like to propose that we approve the grant of £930 from Councillor Shohead's Ward Improvement Fund for Parsons Street benches and bin project. Do I have a seconder, please?
Councillor Zubair?
Well, Councillor Sabere, that's fine.
Yep.
All those in favour, please.
It's unanimous, Chair.
Lovely. Number 6, members to approve a grant of £229 from Councillor Mounsell's Ward Development Fund for the Oakworth Gardening Project. And I would also like to include in this members to approve a grant of £229 from Councillor Mark Curtis's Ward Improvement Fund for the Oakworth Gardening Project. Joe, would you like to explain?
Yeah, Chair. So Councillor Curtis and Councillor Munsell want to buy a variety of equipment that can be used by community groups to undertake small environmental projects, whether that is leaf clearing up, litter picking, that sort of stuff, working with the Friends, I think it's the Friends of Holden Park. We are satisfied as officers that it meets the requirements and is a reasonable use of their remaining funding. So we'll just ask the committee to ratify both applications tonight.
Okay, one thing that I did want to raise on this is, where is this equipment going to be?
I shall
Councillor Mansell, please. You're muted, Councillor Mansell.
I double clicked it by accident. That's exciting. So first of all, it's not all of the money. We've still got between us £300, which will be left. The gardening equipment, so it'll be stored in 2 places. The Friends of Holden Park are happy for any of the stock which isn't electrical to be stored at their in their place in Holden Park. They've got a little storage facility thing, and the electrical stuff, which are the gardening shears, will be stored with Councillor Curtis for the immediate, and then we'll worry about that later on, because it can't be stored in the store because they've got a bit of worry of damp, although I don't actually think that's much of a problem. So it will be stored away and accessible, and I'll be talking with the chaps there once it's agreed to make sure it's accessible for everyone. But it'll be stored safe.
I believe that you're trying to think of a shed that, I mean, I'm trying to work out whether or not the storage area is going to be criminal proof. I don't quite know what I'm trying to say here, but it will be stored properly, that people won't be able to access it.
Yeah, it's locked up. It's got it's all sorts of safe, and it's got cameras just outside of it, so which we funded. So
Marvelous. Okay, that's fine by me. Anybody else have a comment? In which case, I would like to propose that we approve a grant for £229 from Councillor Mounsell's Ward Development Fund and £229 from Councillor Mark Curtis's Ward Development Plans. Councillor Graham. Oh, right. Oh, you're just seconding. Marvellous. So all those in favour, please.
That's unanimous.
Marvellous. Well done, everybody. Super. Right, so that takes us on to the Just Veg scheme. This is just for noting. Okay, so basically what we're trying to understand is the Just Veg scheme, which an awful lot of us put money in last year, has just been delayed due to COVID-19 pandemic. And I think that that's just for noting, Joe.
I think, Chair, Councillor Graham asked a particular question about where, because obviously you've all, quite a number of councils have actually given money towards it. Councillor Graham asked where the money actually physically was. The money sits with Keighley Urban Meadows. In that they have it ring fenced in a separate bank account, so it's all there waiting to be spent. So that was, I think, that was there is a discussion to perhaps be had amongst council whether or not that is where you want it to be. You may decide you want to do something else, but that's a matter for you as members. Really, it's a strange situation given that it was a scheme which was heavily reliant on community engagement, and it's very difficult to engage groups at the moment.
Yeah, that's very true. Councillor Graham, please.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, regarding the Just Veg money, Councillor Wrench and myself have 2 of them banked, so to speak. And I understand that it's been put into Urban Meadows account, awaiting Just Veg initiative to start up again. But I would be a bit concerned if it was decided that we weren't going to do that, because I would like, and Councillor Wrench would like, to see the money coming back into our ward for us to decide how we spent it within our ward, because that's why we gave it in the first place. We wouldn't like to actually see it going into a huge pot to be spent somewhere else, because the purpose of the £700 that we gave from our ward funds was to benefit our residents in the community. So my question, Joe, is if it's decided that we don't go forward with the Just Veg initiative after all, what's going to happen then?
From my point of view, that conversation hasn't happened yet. I'm still intending on that the Just Veg scheme will happen. If for whatever reason we decide it can't happen, then all the councils that have donated, or sorry, have granted their fund, will be contacted and asked, do they want it back?
Okay, thank you.
It'll be this committee that will decide eventually. But yeah, it won't be done anything other than, it won't be veered into another account, Councillor Gray, if that's what you about. But I think, in conversation that I've had with Pip and with Sarah, it is very much still about doing the Just Veg out in the communities. Maybe not exactly the same format, but doing it something where we can get out into each individual ward that's funded it and doing the work in terms of healthy eating, food preparation, maybe even trying to tie it into some of the allotment works and healthy growing and that sort of thing. But we just need to be able to, everybody's itching to get going. We just need to physically be able to get out there and get going.
Yes, thank you, Joe.
And I will note that as well.
Yes, it is the preference that it is used for Just Veg, because it's a brilliant initiative and it involves so many people. And we banked 2 because our ward is sort of split into 2. We have Longley and Thwaites Bow, and then further down the hill we have Parkwood.
Yeah.
So our intention was to hold 1 in each area. So it would be nice to see that come on stream in the future when we can. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
I think that would be really marvellous. I really do. Really do. Okay, so Joe, that one is just for noting, and thank you very much, Councillor Graham, for your input into this item. So number 12, future items for discussion. Can I have anybody who wants to put a future item in?
Excellent.
Okay, so obviously at the moment we don't have anything, but obviously everybody knows that when you do have a future item, then you can just contact the office and it will be put onto the agenda. Okay, so it only allows me to say thank you very much for attending, and the next meeting of this committee will be held on Monday the 15th of February 2021 at 6 p.m. Thank you very